the Janice Cobb of Save My Pet ID tag. Engraved with your pet's info, they allow emergency personnel to start care for your pets if you're sick or injured. Head over to SaveMyPetIDtag.com and explore products. They ensure peace of mind for you and for your four-legged family.
I'm very excited because two longtime cat advocates, and they're simply feline fine people, they're here on our show. 3 decades ago, they kicked off this whole thing about enriching the lives of indoor cats with a blockbuster book. It was called A Cat's House. And they're back with a new book. And guess what? It has a D-O-G in it. What? Please welcome to the show the authors of A Lost Dog Finds Cat Paradise, Bob Walker and Frances Mooney. Welcome to you two.
Well, hello. Welcome.
Good to see you again.
It is. I have to confess, pet pals, I have known Bob and Frances for a long time, many cat years. I used to live in San Diego and I met them years ago, about 30 years ago. And they're two of my favorite people because they do a cat good. But as you're going to find out, they're going to pay homage to a little Chihuahua named Sadie in their latest book. And you want to give us the name of the title? I'll give Frances for 200, please. Say the name of the title of the book.
Off the cover.
Okay, we're cheating.
Okay, we're cheating. A Lost Dog Finds Cat Paradise.
And what's the subtitle?
Tales of Love and... Wait a minute. Mischief.
All right. I love it. And it's available on Amazon. So we got to back up the bus a little bit. People need, for the 3 people out there that don't know of you two, you kind of were the trendsetters in doing enrichment inside homes for indoor cats with the place you had in San Diego. Let me start with you, Bob. You love cats, but cats are not just walking along on the floor, are they?
No. In fact, one day we came home and we realized that, that cats need to go up high because they like to look down on us.
Yeah, that's a cat thing.
So that we basically started with a scratching column, a room divider.
Okay.
And they would full speed up this and then go running across, and it was a dead end. So one thing literally led to the next.
They were showing you.
Yeah. They were showing us what to do.
And then we went nuts.
And then there was 140 feet of cat path by the time we were done. And it was a local architecture critic did a review of our house, and it went bonkers from there. The media came from all over the world. We did a blog. That became an inspiration for people. And then we became known as, quote, the paw fathers of the pet environmental enrichment movement.
I love that. And Frances, the indoor is a unique. I have never seen it on something like home and garden TV shows where they're always wanting that darn kitchen island. But you really catered to the cats with your home. Can you tell us a couple of features?
Oh, we had a staircase that's curved around and where the television was. So if they wanted to get on top of the TV, of course, that was always available to them. They could up. They could chase each other.
Okay.
Laps in the top of the closet. Any number of opportunities. The dog would bark at them on occasion, but they didn't really pay much attention to her unless she was fighting at them.
And how many paint colors did you have?
I don't quite remember anymore, but I think it was close to 40.
40. And at the max, how many indoor cats were lucky to live with Bob and Frances?
Well, we had a dozen at one point in time.
Wow.
When I did the very first book, The Cat's House, I remember telling people that we had the perfect 2-cat family initially, and that a friend of ours was bonkers because she had 5.
Oh.
So we ended up with a dozen, but because of being involved with all the animal world out there, we've known people that we loved that we didn't think were too bonkers that had 35 cats.
Whoa. But wasn't there a picture at one time of all the cats on the bed sleeping with you guys?
Yeah, that was we mounted a motorized camera directly over the bed. I did. And then over like about a 5-night period, we had a giant flash emit this huge light, a burst of light, every 17 minutes throughout the night, so that it would show us like follow the bouncing ball, only in this case, follow the 8 cats or whatever it was at the time. And Frances and I flip-flopping around, and then here they are in the different positions. So anyway, that was fun. Frances didn't
That's
like
a
it
good
so much.
wife. Frances, you let him do
I
a
was
photo
not
shoot in the
keen on
bedroom
the
with
idea.
cats?
I wasn't keen on the idea,
Yeah.
but the pictures were worth the annoyance, shall we say.
How long have you two kids been married?
53 years, I think.
That's a lot in cat years.
So that's a long time, you know?
1973. So,
Yeah.
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 Long time, long
Yeah.
time.
So we know how to answer each other's lines and interrupt each other, just to let you know that.
Yeah, but I've never seen you fight like cats and dogs. You guys are good.
Well, you don't have the video on all of the time.
But
Oh, you never know. I get around. I used to be an investigative reporter, so don't underestimate me.
I know, you're a reporter.
Yeah. But let's talk about, Bob, I wanted to talk about the fact that you make your living as a professional, extraordinary photographer. But with you and Frances, you were able to incorporate your love of animals, especially cats. But give people a little brief bio on your photo. What are some of the things you've actually had assignments to do?
Okay. Well, one of the famous museum director once said about, because a lot of people's images get out to be kind of boring and they try to find subjects that they think will look artful, whatever. But anyway, he said to basically take photographs of what you tell about your own life and your own experiences. So I figured out way back we live 24/7 with our cats. And what else? This way I don't have to go anywhere. I can just photograph our family and then share the stories and tales. So that's how the book started. It's like the Sadie book, the Lost Dog one, was 3.5 years of photo hounding Sadie, of taking pictures of her and growing up with 2 kittens, neighborhood kittens that we had adopted the day before Sadie arrived.
Well, it's time to let the cat out of the bag or the dog out of the bag. And that is, it's been a minute since you've done a book. But tell us how Sadie came into your life. Well, Frances, you want to start it off? How did you, a cat-loving couple, how did Sadie show up?
Oh, well, by the time Sadie showed up, I had already had experience of a large husky that got in the car at the grocery store. And I had been afraid of dogs because they were big when I was little, and I tried to get her to get out, but she wouldn't, so I took her home. So when Sadie showed up, she just showed up on the driveway, and I wasn't afraid of her because she was small for one
How
thing.
much did she weigh?
I don't know. Maybe
Probably about 3 pounds or something.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she was like,
Littler than all your cats.
around the neighborhood, and I asked everyone, and they all swore that nobody had ever seen it before. One person said it might have belonged to that house over there, and they declined to agree that had been the case. So what do? I mean, you got this cute little dog, and you see a photo opportunity.
she was starving. She had flea bitten, ticks,
Aw.
the whole thing. And
It
then
was a dear little
and she was
creature.
bouncing up and down at our feet. So here's a show and tell to be able to.
A swing.
Oh, she is like a tan-colored chihuahua, huh?
Yeah,
Baby.
And with
Yeah.
folded ears. I love the ears. Did they go in all
Yeah.
directions?
Yeah. So she basically took over the whole household. All of the toys in the house became hers. Everything on the ground was hers. All the higher surfaces. Luckily, we had the catwalk.
Yeah.
It's 140 feet of catwalk, so that's their sanctuary and safety.
Above the little chihuahua.
Yeah, belongs from a little chihuahua.
Hey, everybody. We're speaking with Bob Walker and Frances Mooney. I want you to get your paws on on the book. It's called A Lost Dog Finds Cat Paradise, Tales of Love and Mischief. It's available on Amazon starting in May. So we're going to come back and learn a little bit about them and how a chihuahua won the hearts of them and a bunch of cats. So everybody, sit, purr. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore, and I'm talking to 2 good friends of mine, longtime friends. They are Bob Walker and Frances Mooney, and they're out with a new book after a minute. They did a breakthrough book years ago called A Cat's House, very pictorial, kind of broke through the whole idea that you need to make things like patios, catios, and other things that go up and across for our cats to keep them happy and sane. Well, then a little dog shows up in their life, and the little dog they named, how did you come up with the name Sadie? Or was that on a collar? Or how did you come up with the name Sadie for the little Chihuahua?
Sadie was the only I think about the only animal I got to name. Frances always was our name giver, but it was kind of like Sadie Hawkins. Sadie is like in charge. She's the one that'll ask you to the dance and everything. So, she's a self-possessed little dog.
Oh my gosh.
Cats on their toes.
She did. And so 2 very major cat advocates. Now you've got a dog. What's something you weren't used to? Start with you, Frances, having a little dog in a house full of cats.
I'm not really sure. She got us to go for walks, which is something we didn't do. And she introduced us to other dogs in the neighborhood, and just people. We're out one night walking around. We come across 2 large Dobermans on their walk.
How did Sadie do?
No,
Sadie was fine. Fine. That was with Sasha, though.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry, that was a previous dog.
That's all right. That's all right. But she was kind of an icebreaker, right?
Yeah, and we got some great shots of her with her friend Willow, who was a kitten adopted at the same time. Willow became her soulmate.
Now, Willow was part of your family, right?
Yes.
So what kind of cat was Willow? What's the markings? And
a long-haired tabby.
A long-haired tabby.
And so still with us.
Well, what happened was that the day before Sadie showed up on our driveway, jumping up and down at our legs, is that we adopted 2 neighborhood feral kittens, Willow and Xander. So we didn't need a dog. We just had 2 new kittens in the house. All of a sudden, here's this little monstrous.
Well, maybe they telecommunicated. Willow's like, hey, I found a great house. Calling Sadie, come to the house.
I think that's what it was.
They needed a dog playmate.
Well, the truth about cats and dogs is they can be really good buds, right?
Yeah, you know that personally.
Yeah, my orange tabby Rusty is best friends with my little Chihuahua mix, Emma, my Gemma. So that's good. So you were watching the antics of this dog in your cat house. I love saying the word cat house and making it not sound bad. It is a cat house. But some inspired you, right, Bob? You brought out your camera. Yeah.
Well, cats, what they do is you would see them go to the top of your dresser, to the top of a cabinet. Cats love to get on top of things.
Right.
Like to look down.
And they love to look down on you. Of all creatures, of course, cats look down on people.
Right.
And so anyway, we built a scratching column room divider, and they would go racing full speed down the hall, hit this thing, go racing up, go running across. It was a dead end.
Oh.
So literally one thing led to the next, and we ended up with 140 feet of cat paths that went through walls. And the very first wall opening I ever made was like, oh no, like it was just a huge opening. You had to make an opening for the cat to go through. I kept thinking of those ads that they would have about, oh, wow, you messed up your wall and now you're going to have to call somebody to come in and repair it.
Oh, no, you did it between the studs. They let them go into another room, right?
That's we ended up having mouse holes and flame-shaped openings. And
So you did all that, but then Sadie comes into your life. So what inspired you to pay homage to the late, great Sadie now with this book?
She was so photogenically wonderful as far as interacting with the kittens. So I wanted to document them growing up together and bonding and playing and getting into mischief together. So it was basically, the book is a 3.5-year documentary narrative of them getting to become best buddies and pals. And also sometimes, like one series was the cats in the kitchen where Willow, the kitten, got in the sink and helped Frances make eggs, where she stole the eggshell out of the sink, dropped it onto the floor for Sadie. Sadie then got it. One of the cats wanted to get it, but no, Sadie got it and then like, whoa, that's mine. Whoa, no, there's another cat. That's mine too, with two shells at her mouth at the same time. So anyway, she is a very possessive dog of all things on the floor.
Well, hey, if she's going to be living in a house with a bunch of cats who can be ninjas, that's her turf, the floor. So
That's
did
right.
she sleep on the bed with all you and the cats?
Yeah.
Did she try to get under the covers?
Yeah, she got between us. That was a cat spot at one time. And then if the cat wanted to get in, Sadie would do her.
Oh, yeah. The little fake vocals.
Yeah. So it'd be like, oh, no, what did we do? But anyway, yeah.
What's something, you want to tell each one of you about the truth about cats and dogs? Because you've lived it and you're depicting it in A Lost Dog Finds Cat Paradise. So, Frances, what's something that you would like to tell people, first, to get their paws on the book, but second, what is the real truth that you find if cats and dogs are introduced appropriately?
I don't know, just that it's wonderful to have them both there. I mean, cat goes for a walk on its own. Dog needs you to be there. So the dog is a more personal kind of creature, but when you've got the cats involved, it all becomes one thing. So they're all together having fun. If Sandy found any cat toy anywhere, she would cart that off, and then they'd have to retrieve it. And
it's like siblings.
The only real safe place to take anything was overhead, because Sadie could not climb up the ramps, although Bob did make an attempt to get her up there.
Okay. And Bob, what about you? What's your take on this interaction, especially with Willow and Sadie, inspired you to write this book?
Well, so let's see. Why don't we put this? I don't want to tell all about cats and divulge all their secrets. Everybody always thinks of cats as being these animals that aren't loving and that they just don't, they lay around. Well, they're totally bonding as and ingratiate themselves into your lives, and they bring their things to you and all that. And Sadie was the same way, and it was just magical the way they would interact and sometimes have little biting things back and forth. And you see dogs barking at each other, and then they somehow survive, and it's just play. Well, that's what the cat can do.
Yeah.
So,
also, they wash dishes for you.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So this book, how many pages is it? And I guess you have 160 photographs of Sadie hanging out with the cats?
Yes, there's 160 pages. It's 160 photographs and 94 pages. And what it is, it's a series. It's broken into a series of chapters that are like a storytelling, like Monsters Under the Bed was one of them, where Frances and I would be in bed and you'd hear these strange creatures under the bed doing something. Well, it turns out that they were getting up inside of the stuffing.
Oh, no.
So we looked under the bed, and it looks like a pirate ship underneath. So basically, we took the bed off, put some plastic screen on it, and then put it back and solved the problem. So
there you go.
It's a little bit of solutions. But there's that. Go ahead.
Any tips on, because this is your first self-published book. We've got about a minute left. Do you have any tips for people on how to get your book on Amazon?
Getting it on Amazon, look for KDP, Kindle Digital Publishing.
Okay.
Pretty amazing process as far as and good printing, very good quality printing. That's something I learned quickly, was that the printing was excellent if you choose the good paper and everything. So I've already had a couple of people now, just because of this, and the book's not released yet, that
they're writing their book.
They're also asking for advice on how to do their books. So once again, it's a good communication device, good for storytelling.
And you've been a member of the Cat Writers Association for a minute, right?
Yep, but actually I joined the Dog Writers Association recently, so I know.
Well, you get to. You got a dog in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, as these two exhibit, everybody, I'm speaking with Bob Walker and Frances Mooney. The new book is called A Lost Dog Finds Cat Paradise, subtitle Tales of Love and Mischief. It's about a little dog named Sadie who hangs out with a house full of cats, and what a full life that you gave this former lost dog. Please check it out on Amazon. And how can people find out more about you all? Do you have a website?
Oh, yes, we do. Of course. It's bobwalkerphotography.com. And there's more information about the book, and there's some little intro photos, and there's a link there to the Amazon, the ebook there. So anyway, come check it out, and you'll see some of the photography I've done for pets. There's a whole...
And I can attest, everyone, this man knows how to take photos. He is very good. So I'm so glad you could both be on our show.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content. Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life.